board itself can lease to anybody. I think it's
Which board?
this board.
This board, the drug court board.
Right.
No, he's just required to pay us the money that we.
Right, but as to who signs the lease and who can give the lease would be the county.
Are you saying the drug court board can't lease that space, or we can't sublease it and then sublease it? Is that?
I don't know if the drug court board has the authority.
I think all of the above. I don't think we can do any of that. I mean, it's not our property, it's their property.
No, but we're paying for it.
PBA.
I mean, we're.
Well, how are we paying for it, Judge?
We'll pay, we would sign the lease.
Yeah, we're gonna
And then we would tap drug court funds.
offsets with CRG in terms of. I mean, well, let me ask, what do we do with the space that we're occupying for where the drug court and mental court offices are?
I'm sorry.
Right now we have our.
The Board of County Commissioners pays for that. They have.
Is that a lease though? Is that a lease or is that just?
No, they sign a lease with the Board of County Commissioners.
Yeah,
They've
I
been
think,
doing that for years.
I mean, not to rehash old history, but sort of gotten away with something for a long time here where there should have been a signed contract and there wasn't.
Mhm.
Even when I was displaced for a period of time, well, our offices were being remodeled here in the courthouse, and I entered in a property owned by the PBA. I had to sign a lease and had to pay rent, even though I'm a trustee. It's just been an exemption that I think no other has been allowed to do, and I think there's an issue about indebtedness against the properties to the bondholders, where we can't choose arbitrarily the in-kind right now.
That makes sense. I think we want to do this. We want to approve this. I guess it's just a question of who are the entities that.
Exactly.
It has to be between.
Could it be between the Oklahoma County PBA and CRG Resources? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they're the ones that own the building. They're the ones that would be the leads.
The
I mean,
Oklahoma County Public Building Authority, OCPBA, and then they're the lessor, but then the lessee. You're saying you don't think our board can lease that space?
I don't think we can. I really do not think we can. I think what you just described, where the contract lease agreement would be between the company and the public buildings authority.
You could, of course, if you were putting your own employees there, if it was for your
Yeah, for our use.
Well, it is kind of for our benefit, I guess. I mean,
The only thing is, he is, would in essence be our employee.
in a way they kind of function. You know, we have that space, and
I get it. I just think on a legal hang up about who's paying the rent.
yeah, well, who's writing the check? I mean, if we're saying we're responsible for the check, it does end up, and it's not a formal sublease that we have, but it's I guess an agreement we have with CRG. I guess, I mean, Bob, does it matter to you if we were to put?
It doesn't matter at all. This is what Monroe gave me after talking to one of the districts. That's the reason why I presented it. I didn't know anything about him talking to you. I was out of town Friday, and I just got a text from him saying he wanted to split it, and I said that ain't going to happen. And,
He wanted what?
he wanted to split the rent, but we paid half of it, and he paid. And I said we're not going to do it. I'm not.
You know, he's
It's a
right.
violation of the art.
He has a proposal which he emailed, and it, you know, certainly doesn't say he has to do anything in terms of satisfying rent or whatever. It's just the problem is you can have all you want to have, but I think at the end of the day, your office would still say we have to have a contract.
Right. If you're going to have a lease, you got to.
And because of the indebtedness issue with the bonds, I don't think we have the option as the PBA I'm speaking of.
I don't think there's any bonds that's going to impact this though. Regardless, I understand what you're saying, because I think the facts are the same, whether there's indebtedness.
Parking garage bonds don't go against all PBA properties.
I don't think so. I think we're just about, I think we're through with it. I'll find out.
Well, the legal question, right now I know there's an agreement that this Oklahoma County Public Building Authority needs to collect rent on that space. And that is what that is. And so it's just a matter of who's paying it and who can enter into this agreement. And
Well, it may not be if the bonds are satisfied, but the DA and I didn't think they were, so we were operating under that assumption that we have
Well,
So there may be something we could revisit there, if not.
is there, for the purpose of this, meeting today, could we, as a board, I mean, I propose a motion, something along the lines of, I move that this board is authorized to enter this agreement to the extent the law allows. If the law doesn't allow us to, then plan B would be that would go to CRG to sign the agreement, but regardless, I know the lease has to be entered into. That way, this, if we need more information, we leave here. If Eris says, no, it's okay, drug court board, you guys can do that, then we can sign it.
Well, I don't think this agenda item allows for that. Do you see? I mean, first off, this would be the attached document. It's not.
Why is it null and void?
Well,
Because
it's the wrong parties.
that's where, no, this is approving at least actually the drug court board and the Veterans Capital Building. And so,
Yeah, but I think he's already ruled. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but he said they couldn't do that.
I don't think that we, the board itself, has the authority to sign that.
well, we don't because we haven't agreed to do it. But probably the board really isn't a legal entity. We're having this sort of with this collection of
Well,
people.
there's
There's not a drug court board is not an LLC. The drug court is not a legal entity. It's kind of a collaboration between a lot of different parties. So I definitely understand if you were going to go to court and try to sue to enforce that. There's not this board is kind of a collection of, it's not really even
Because technically, you're not really the tenant. I mean, you've contracted, but if you decided to award this contract to somebody else, that tenant would still be there or not be there.
well, it's to the drug court. Well, and we're using the word drug court. This is actually mental health court, veterans treatment court. A lot of our other programs use this lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was an RFP with the drug court. The other two just used the lab. And
They're using the same contract that we entered into.
yeah.
So I mean, at some point we can visit who else paying for that if we end up having to absorb all of it. But so are you saying as far as wrapping up today? Because we're going to figure out what we want to do. I know we all agree that rent needs to be paid. Is that right? Okay, it's just a matter of who's going to pay rent.
He's willing to pay the rent. He said he wouldn't come over in light of this meeting. I didn't know anything about it. He didn't mention anything about with you. Whatever. I think the end result is Mr. Monroe needs to prepare another lease between the Public Building Authority and Mr. Tetra. But he's got, if Mr. Tetra doesn't sign it, he'll be out because so be it.
Yeah.
This board
Which
doesn't have to be involved.
I don't think it's hostile or caustic. I think in my conversation with him on Friday, we had gotten.
Yeah.
I think probably just some misinformation by District 3, not even them being malicious, but as you know, we can't talk to each other outside of open meetings, and sometimes this is the calamity of errors that takes place because the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. And
Well, I didn't talk to District 3, so
No.
I talked to District 1. They're the ones that walked up to me and said, so I don't know who's been talking to Monroe.
Yeah.
And he was just doing what somebody told him.
Calvi's office is 1, 3,
No, they're
3.
three.
Okay, so 3. Yeah. So Calvi and Miles and Monroe all went to lunch together last week. I caught them coming back here,
yeah,
and it's funny they still haven't talked to Mr. Tedrow, but regardless of you got it worked out. I just want to make sure.
Well, if we got the terms, everything on this is what everybody's basically agreeing to without Mr. Tedrow being here. I think what we ought to do is adjourn the meeting and for the next meeting, get the contract right and have the parties sign the contract.
well, it's not here at this meeting. We'd be at PBA.
I think honestly, if we go to the end is, I think that this lease agreement, just standing through it, looks good to me. And you replace the drug court board with this entity. Yeah. You replace that, everything else to include, and then the payments would be made to the PBA as opposed to being made to us. I think that's the simplest approach.
Okay, yeah, lease term in November 1st.
Yeah.
So that'd be fine. I think Mr. Ted would agree to that.
I'll
So,
call-
I mean, he's gonna
I'll
pay-
call up.
He's gonna pay a $707.15 check per month, right?
Yeah.
Why should he care who it's made out to?
that's correct.
I think we're the ones that really care about that.
As a matter of fact, it probably may even give him some more, negotiation. Like at one point, he didn't have any contract at all, he didn't have any rights at all.
Yeah, and I think, he talks about in his proposal that there's a reduced test cost that, he does in exchange for this free rent.
That's not accurate.
It doesn't benefit the PBA even if he is doing that.
Yeah,
So
no.
I don't know if he comes
Yeah, it
back to this board and revisits that or not, but that was beside the point to me. We didn't even have to go there.
Well, all of their contracts are kind of up for bid and renegotiation.
Okay, and I'll tell him, though, I did tell him, he sent me an email, because he has evidently there's an inability to get into the building. Evidently, the scan cards aren't working early on and on weekends, so he's having problems with that. And I said, we would at least, I'll at least ask Monroe that.
That's a good example. If he brings that to us and that's who his lease is with, but then we're gonna have to turn around and go to the PBA.
You're right.
We can't fix that problem.
Yeah. Yeah, he's usually asking for, hey, why can't we get air conditioning in here on the weekends, and why can't we get I did, so I
But the
moved.
judges asked that same question. You don't have to finish, on weekends, do you?
I know,
Neither do
but
we.
I'm not,
I mean,
but I don't have to work up here.
I-
have to work. up
I
here.
have asked him to address the air conditioning, and of course, he pointed out to me today, we're all watching these news stories about what utility costs are supposed to be this year, and I think there's a payday coming on the budget board side of things for that, but I did ask that he have reasonable temperatures on the weekends so that it didn't affect the test.
Yeah. So is there anything else we move to adjourn? Is there?
yeah, I mean, it's strictly, if he doesn't want to sign the lease,
Do we
then
need
it's up to
to,
the county to do
do
it.
we need to take a roll call or anything? Make
Or
sure
PBA, I'm sorry.
I already.
you did that, okay, all right.
Don't we have to take some kind of action on these two items?
We had a discussion and a table, right?
Table them or
Sure, I'll entertain a motion to check table, numbers one
moved.
and two.
So,
table them till when? We have always had that fight too. You have to set the date.
How about the strike items
That's it.
1 and 2?
There you go. That's what I'd like to do, strike them.
so
Because table, we're gonna have to bring them back up again sometime.
Maybe put them on our next normal meeting date, is what I would suggest. It's not, but hopefully by then it will all be,
Okay.
they should be all taken care of.
yeah, and I don't think it would be the wording of these two items.
Okay, so let's strike them.
Strike them.
Let's strike. First,
See,
you move to
I'll,
strike.
yeah, I'll move to strike.
Motion made by Judge Stoner, seconded by
I'll second.
Mr. Freeman. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries
I
unanimously.
would like also to remind the board and the county that you can't even prove I was here.
Says participation. Okay. Any more comment?
The county clerk's office said there's still cake left.
Still what?
Cake left.
Yeah.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Mon, seconded by all those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Got through your last one.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I think
I was talking to him.
Tim, what brings you here?
Just to see the excitement.
Well, I tell you what, it's Oklahoma County, of course.